Alright guys, this is episode 3 of the Learn Roblox Dev With Me series. In the last episode, we learned about debouncing to make sure our events don't fire too many times in a row. In today's episode, we're going to understand how Roblox's hierarchy works, and how to find objects that are created using two methods, FindFirstChild and WaitForChild. Everything in Roblox lives inside a hierarchy. At the top, we have the game, which is the root of everything. Inside the game, you can see that we have services like a workspace, players, replicated storage, server storage, and many more. In Roblox Studio, the game is the parent of all the services, so that means that the workspace and all the other services are the children of the game. Then in the hierarchy, the individual services, like the workspace, are the parent of all the 3D objects that you see in the world, like the base plate and any parts that you make. You can see that here in the drop-down menu that shows what is within the workspace. Let's take a look at an example. Alright, so let's just write a simple line, print game.workspace. And as you can see, this prints the workspace object. So basically you're accessing the game first, which is the parent of the workspace, and then you're accessing the workspace that is within that. Then we can take it a step further and add .part, and this finds the specific object named part inside our workspace. The game is the main parent of the workspace, and the workspace is the parent of the part. You can see the hierarchy here perfectly when accessing different elements in your game. Okay, so before we get into this next part, I'm going to go into the workspace and create a model here. And basically what this does is allow us to group multiple objects together within the model. And okay, so we're going to go under model and create a part. We can leave it as part. And we're also going to want a script. Alright, so we can start talking about the concept that's used a lot in scripting actually, called FindFirstChild. Sometimes when you're scripting you may accidentally delete a part, or you might change the name of a part but forget about it later. So let's try and access the part here. So let's just say local model equals script.parent. Oh, it has to be a lowercase script. Yes. As we know, the script's parent is the model, so we're basically accessing the model here. It'll just be easier to access anything that's within the model if we just create a variable for it right now. And we're going to do local, let's name it part equals model.part. We want to make the name different. Let's say we named it part and we accidentally write part 1 there. So now we're going to make an if statement. If part, then print part is there. Yeah, alright. So now let's test this out. Alright, let's look at the thing. As you can see, it says part 1 is not a valid member of model workspace.model. So when you're trying to access the object that you made under a different name without the FindFirstChild method, it automatically gives an error and it doesn't continue on with the rest of the code that you have. I can show you this right here. If we go and write something else like hello or something, when we run the script again, you can see that it doesn't continue on and print hello. It just stops it right there and gives an error because part 1 wasn't able to be found. Now let's see the difference with FindFirstChild. All you have to do here is go and change it to FindFirstChild and then the part name that we're trying to find, which we were trying to find part 1 to see if part 1 exists, right? So you can say if part 1, then we can add like an else statement here. Else print part is not there. Yes, we can just press tab. It's already giving me the option there. And let's run it. As you can see here, it doesn't throw an error, it just simply lets us know safely that the part is not there and continues on with the rest of the code. So using FindFirstChild is basically like a safe way to check if a part is there, and if it's not there, you can do the error handling there simply without having the rest of the code not being able to run. Okay, so now let's get into the next method, which is called WaitForChild. This method basically pauses the script for a specific amount of time for the object to actually exist. Let's say if you're working with parts that don't exist immediately in the game, or you need to do some error handling, this is also very useful and a safe method of checking for a part. So we can get rid of the FindFirstChild and change it for WaitForChild. And part 1, let's say, okay, so here's how the parameter works. So you have the part that you're looking for, and the second parameter is how much time you want it to wait. So let's just say like 7 seconds. And then we're gonna say if part, then print part is there, we can say that, yes. If not part, I'm gonna just change this to warn. So warn, and we can say part has not appeared for 7 seconds. Alright. Now let's run it. Let's check. Alright, so now it's giving some time. The output hasn't shown yet. There we go. Part has not appeared for 7 seconds, and it shows a warning message, and then it continues on with the rest of the code. Okay, so now that we understand how WaitForChild and FindFirstChild work, let's do a practice problem. I'm going to put practice problem 1 up on the screen. Alright. Create a script that looks for a special part inside my model and changes its color to red, but only if it actually exists. Alright, so I'm gonna go back here. I'm just gonna get rid of this model and we're just gonna start from scratch. So it's asking us to create a script that looks for a special part inside my model. So we're gonna need a model and we're gonna need to rename it to my model, right? And then we're gonna need part and a script. Part and a script, and it says to rename the part to special part. Alright, so now it's set up and we have our script, right? Now let's just get rid of this code. So we're looking for the part and changing its color to red if it actually exists. So we're gonna have to do local model equals script dot parent. So that is our model. The script's parent is the model. And then we have local special part equals, so now we need to find model, find first child, and we're looking for special part. Yes, right there. Now we need to check if it actually exists, so we need a conditional statement. If special part, then now we need to change its color. So special part dot color is equal to color 3 dot from RGB, and we're getting red, so that's going to be the first parameter. So 255 0 0. That's how the RGB values work. And that should be it for that. And now we need an else statement. Else statement, and we're gonna do warn. I'm gonna say special part was not found inside my model. Alright, that should work. Now let's test it out. Okay, as we can see, it is there because special part does exist, so it checked that, and then it changed the part's color. And we don't have anything in the console because we didn't say anything. So now, we're going to change this part's name, and we're just going to name it part instead. Part, and see what happens. Right? Now here, it warns us that special part was not found inside my model. So that's what would happen if the part was named incorrectly or we just didn't have the part. Alright guys, now that is the end of today's episode on hierarchy and using methods like FindFirstChild and WaitForChild. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any questions about anything we covered in today's video. In the next episode, we'll be learning more about weights and timing to be used for stuff like moving platforms. Stay tuned for the next episode, and I'll see you guys then.